Well, hello everyone and Happy New Year. I mean, I think it's every year that we're a bit like, goodness gracious, how can we already be in a new year? But we are. This is the first episode of 2024. So before anything else, I wish all of you an absolutely amazing year. And I have chosen for today the best speaker I could think of to launch the year. So a very special lady to start 2024 with heart, with impact, and always impeccable style. Giovana Vega, so acclaimed forex trader, best-selling author, international speaker, and so much more, who I was lucky to come across a few years ago when she was looking for an editor for her first book, Trading for Success. So Giovanna was also, until recently, the director of the Amsterdam chapter of a large networking group that I was also a part of. And after 6 years of amazing leadership, she has decided to now put all her energy into her own business, Trading for Women. She actually featured on the cover of Forbes magazine in 2023, which not many people can claim to. And all of that because of her dedication to this mission to inspire more women to understand and thrive financially. So the topic today is abundance. So Giovanna, I am absolutely delighted to have you here. Before we get into actually what is abundance, what does it mean, and of course what you're doing towards abundance, can you just share a little bit about who you are?
Thank you, Julie, for the invitation. I always love to be here, part of your projects. I remember that you invited me a couple of times ago for the podcast, and now I am here with you for your new project, which is also the YouTube channel, and very proud of you. I'm following you, and I know that you are an amazing woman. Indeed, as you just introduced, my name is Giovana Vega, and I am a certified forex trader indeed. I have been a trader for many years, and I have been developing all my skills, my money skills into this field. And finally, I started to learn a little bit more about money, wealth creation, investing. And at some point, I decided indeed to inspire women, not only women, actually individuals. I like to inspire everybody and empower them to come into this field because I do believe there are so many opportunities for us if we just take the time to learn, to apply the skills, and finally find the life that we want to create.
Right.
And as you just said, I am originally from Peru. I came 26 years ago here to the Netherlands. And it has been a very nice journey because when I came here to Europe, I didn't have anything. I started from scratch and I needed to learn the language. I met my husband in Spain when I was studying there. And since then, everything has been for me a very long journey with many challenges in the way. But now when I start looking, my life and seeing all the things that I have been through, I do believe I can do more for other people as well. So one of the goals that I have to give something back to society. Right. Many people that come to me, some of them perhaps desperate, not knowing that there is other ways how you can improve in your life, that you can thrive. And then I started to empower more, to tell them that there are other ways that you can use and apply in your life and finally become abundant, right?
Exactly. And that is what we're talking about today. And indeed, I mean, that is why I've also featured you various times already on this podcast, YouTube episodes, is that, we're talking about my tribe is the 50 plus, and in particular women. And it is still nowadays in the 21st century where we have access to everything, it is still a bit of a taboo subject for women. It is an area where we feel extremely incompetent and we often don't even dare try, trading. We think we're going to get bamboozled, etc. And I admire you for your unwavering dedication to making, whether it's the books that you write, because you've written a few already, whether it's the workshops that you give, etc., all dedicated towards meeting people and women at exactly the level where they are. So I mean, I know you do workshops for people who are already maybe at a higher level of understanding finance, trading, crypto, or whatever, but you also meet those of us for whom it's like total Chinese, exactly where we are. So that brings us to the topic of today, which is abundance for 2024, which is something that we wish on everyone, or at least an abundance of good things, right? An abundance of positive things in all areas of our lives. And you are a very spiritual, warm-hearted leadership woman. So I know for you, abundance is many areas, but of course you are a woman in finance. So if I start just by asking you, what does abundance actually mean to you?
Well, for me, there are two significance about abundance. So normally abundance is something that you have in the way more than you need, right?
Right.
Abundance is something that is more than you need. So there is a wealth of everything in whatever you focus on. But I also believe that is the ability to receive from yourself.
Mm.
And that ability from receive from yourself is perhaps more connected when you start learning in psychology, because in psychology, I believe you all also talk about conscious and unconscious and this part
Right.
of the mindset. But also, I believe is pretty much connected with the spirituality side.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
I know that many people are not even aware of this, but I do believe that when I started to apply all these teachings, even from psychology, but also from the spiritual side, is when I started to learn techniques and strategies, and then
Right.
started to apply it myself. And in combination with abilities and the things that you can do, you can create magic in your life.
Right. I mean, what you say is so right, because I mean, abundance covers so many things. It is, as you said, about receiving as well. So that for me then automatically thinks, do I think I am worthy of receiving? Do I deserve to receive? All of that area. It's also the link with gratitude, as in the abundance mentality and not the scarcity. So where you're looking at everything that you do have rather than what you don't have. So it's all about that vibrational level, right, of abundance, when you're not constantly scraping the bottom of the pot, where you're not constantly living in fear, basically. I think scarcity is a fear, whether it's a fear of not having enough abundance of love, of respect, of belonging, but also, of course, of finance. And I think that is an area where most of us do really struggle. And it's taken me, well, 56 years, more or less, and until 2023 to actually realize that I was not attracting money because I was actually also frightened of it. And actually, my biggest realization was that it wasn't so much that I was scared of not making money, is I was actually scared that when I did make money, of which I had no doubt, I would be different and that people might not love me, that it might change my life having too much money. So it is absolutely fascinating. And I love that you touch on all of that. You're that amazing mix of extremely businesslike and extremely knowledgeable. Obviously, you were one of the first female traders at your level, right? In Europe, at least. And you've done an awful lot of things for getting more women into that world, but also you are a very abundant spiritual person, and that makes it so important. So, I mean, since we're talking about abundance, I do want to talk also about what you're doing now, because lots of the people who will be listening will have known you in your previous role as well. So, I mean, what is this that you have set yourself to do, which is so much in line with this, business that you have been running in the background for years?
Well, you have been mentioning so many things that I would like to give also some inputs on that. And before I go into what I am doing right now, you just mentioned something interesting. That is a scarcity mindset, right? And the
Yeah.
scarcity mindset is actually the opposite as abundance mindset.
Right.
When you want to have something, and it doesn't matter what it is, it might be abundance of wealth, or health, of relationship, or friendship, whatever you want to have, if you are not in alignment with what you want to have and what you have in your mind, when it's not in alignment, it's impossible to see that. It's impossible to get the results that you want. So for that, I remember using some techniques in order to apply it and transform that scarcity mindset, because we all have it. I
Yeah.
heard it as well. There are techniques that you can use. For example, there are affirmations, and I am pretty sure that you have heard about that. Affirmations are one of the techniques that only work when you put a lot of feelings and a lot of positive emotions.
Right. It's not just words, right? You have to feel it.
Exactly. You need to feel it and you need to work on that and you need to really mean what you are saying. So it's a process. It's not going easily. And as you said, if you are expecting to get something and in your mind you are thinking how I'm going to get that,
Yeah.
you are not in alignment.
No, you're not, because you're actually working against yourself, aren't you? You're saying you want something, but you're putting your foot on the brake at the same time, right? So you're not moving forward. And what you said also about scarcity, you said we all have it. And I'm wondering, this is just me thinking here, I'm wondering in how far we aren't actually wired for scarcity, because of course our world has changed at incredible speed. However, our bodies and our minds have not. They're still at the phase, more or less, of years and years ago where there was scarcity. You didn't have a fridge and you didn't have a saving account and you didn't have all of that. So, every day was a question of, will I get enough, food to feed my family? Will I manage to defend my village against intruders, etc.? So I think it probably is something which is wired into us, is that we need to constantly be alert to stockpiling, to getting enough, but that in our society that doesn't make sense anymore, and that we are going against ourselves. So yes, thank you for that about abundance, and thank you also for mentioning the techniques, because of course there is a difference between saying that you want to do it, you want to be aligned, and actually knowing how to do it. And many of us also cope with limiting beliefs and patterns that we've been doing since childhood. Maybe our parents told us that you have to be very careful with money and that we have to work very hard and it's very difficult. And so there is this feeling of scarcity and of fear around it. And it takes a lot to get to that beautiful serenity that I see on your face, right? You can tell that you really embody this in all the cells of your being, this abundance. So thank you for, affirmations is a good one. What would you say stops us then from being abundant? Why are we nowadays still so much in this scarcity, and why do we struggle so much to fully align, like you said, with the concept of abundance?
Well, this is my personal experience, of course, and I am
Yeah.
happy to share. I think that one of the things that we, or at least what I notice, is you need to surround yourself with people that is better than you and that you can learn something from. So for me, everything started at the moment that I decided to really start changing my life. Because at the moment that I was writing my first book, Trading for Success, I was interviewing very successful women in the investing, in the trading world. And I found out that there was a common key. And the common key was that they were very ambitious, but ambitious in a very positive way.
Right.
Not in the ambitious with the greediness and the eccentric. No, I mean ambition in a very positive way, but try to push themselves in order for them to learn money techniques, in order for them to be, in their case, abundant in wealth, because that was their focus and it's still their focus. So one of the things that I also noticed is that most of them were very positive and very abundant in their mindsets.
Right.
And that was in all of them. And then I thought, okay, there is something here that I need to discover and learn what is that. And that's how I started to read books. And that's why it's so important for you to choose the people you want to be with, to choose the books that you are reading, to choose even the words. You just can't do a test for yourself. When you talk about money, for example, and you listen to your own words, you are going to notice if you have an abundant mindset or a scarcity mindset.
Right.
So everything depends in the words that you say. Words are very powerful. Why? Because if you just listen to your words, you are going to see that you irradiate some kind of frequency. That frequency is pretty much connected with the way you think. And the way you think is how you things attract in your life.
Yeah, exactly. It's the
What I
message you're giving yourself and the universe, right?
Exactly. So
Or
that's
out,
why I
yeah,
always say you need to think positive. And thanks God, I am a very positive person from nature. And that helped me a lot to work in myself. So that's one of the reasons I don't watch TV, or I am very
yeah.
hopeful in the programs that I am listening, or
Yeah,
eat
what you're feeding
radio.
yourself, right? You know, some of us are very careful what we feed ourselves with in terms of
Exactly. That's so
alcohol or whatever, but it's for everything, right? It's what you're
true.
feeding your mind and your heart as
Yeah.
well.
So you hear it a lot out there, and I know that there are many people applying this, but they are not seeing the results.
Yeah,
And that is more than just saying and repeating. I think that everything is in your body, is in the energy that you irradiate, is
yeah.
the frequencies that you have. Everything is a combination. And then is when you can master all of this, your thoughts, the way how you speak, the energy that you
Yeah,
irradiate from inside, then is when you start attracting, and then is when
I
everything
agree.
is flowing.
I
And
feel it too. I really do. You're a perfect example of having done that because I remember you sharing with us, I mean, I know you as a woman very confident on stage, in front of lots of people, etc. But you said you were actually very shy and very reserved, and you have been on an incredible personal journey over the last, I don't know, 8 years or 10 years to make you the person who you are. So you are also a living embodiment that what you are preaching, what you are saying about the importance of our environment, our importance of our thoughts, what we say to ourselves are crucial. I mean, for my part, when I had this money breakthrough a few months ago, I realized that I always said I had no money, but not in a sad way. I always almost boasted of having no money.
listen to that word, the word that you just say, I don't have money. Can you
Yeah.
feel the
Yeah. So
yes,
I used to make it into
that's
some sort of a boast. I used to say,
exactly
I have no money. I'm a free spirit. When I earn well, I travel. And when I don't, it doesn't matter. And I thought, Julie, this is absolute crap. You're hiding behind that. So
exactly.
get over yourself, align yourself with the positive side. Lots of us do have associations with money, that money is, I mean, in my case, it was a bit that money is vulgar, that money is distasteful, that people with money are not good people. And money is money. It's a mean of exchange. It's an energy in
And
itself.
it is very neutral because the
It's
money,
what we do with it, right?
it doesn't have any kind of feeling. It's the feeling that you give to money.
Yeah,
You can give it a feeling of greediness. You
yeah,
can give it a feeling of love. You can actually, money is very neutral.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not that money is transforming you.
And that
It's
is what I've learned recently, this embracing money as a source of good. I want to make impact in so many areas. That's why I work in various areas. But, with money, I can impact more, so it's something that it can be a force for good and a channel of energy, etc. So anyway, I want to now get, after our wonderful opening, I want to get to what you are doing now and what you've also planned for 2024, because that is important as well.
Yes. Well, I am let's say a woman who I challenge myself all the time. So as you might know, I worked before in companies 15 years ago, and then I started the whole journey in the personal development. And even before I decided to become trader, I went into different fields, you name it, marketing, everything. I did everything. At the end, I decided to follow this path, which is investing, trading. It's something that I love to do, and I love to educate myself actually on daily basis as well,
Mm.
see what are the developments and everything. So coming back to your question, I decided to start focus more in the things that I love to do. I discovered that I can also develop the leadership skill, and that actually did, and I did it very successfully in something that I have learned a lot during that process. However, I think that I can give even more. One of the things that I have been noticing is that there is a lot of interest. People are getting curious about knowing what is happening right now. So, in the whole situation that we have been living a couple of years ago, people are realizing that there is something going on in the financial landscape, right?
Yeah.
So, then I asked myself, if I know what I know, I need to start doing something.
Mm.
Need to start helping people to educate themselves, but also just giving the information, just
Right.
telling them what is happening in the world. When you are, let's say, an investor or a trader, you are actually coming into another world that we read another kind of news, we are looking other kind of information.
Right.
You can analyze things and see that there is something going on. So one of the things that we perceive is, for example, and I believe many of the people right now have seen since the COVID-19 pandemic and everything, we have been experiencing inflation, we have been experiencing uncertainty, people are losing their jobs, and this is just the beginning for something big that might be happening. And that's why I started to think for myself, okay, now it's time for me to step into the other
Yeah.
skills that I have and start creating something.
To
Project.
help us
And
understand about finance, etc. Yeah.
exactly, because financial empowerment is very important. Many
Yeah.
people focus in the business, which is good. I believe that everybody should have this skill about business and entrepreneurship, but they don't focus in the numbers and in the
Yeah.
financial side. Why? Because it's too complicated.
Exactly. We think it's a different world, like you just said, a different world with a different language, and we're a bit like, okay, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to be swindled, etc.
Exactly.
Right.
But however, if you do a business, you need also to understand your numbers
Yeah.
because it's impossible to create a business and not knowing or read the numbers. What is the cost that I am making or what kind of profits do I need to make? So this is one side of the financial side, but I am talking more about what is happening in the monetary system, for example. Why is inflation coming from? What
Mm.
do we need to do with our money?
Mm.
Do we need to keep it in the bank? Do we need
Yeah.
to start investing? Do we need to embrace new skills like money? Like
Yeah.
perhaps start learning about investing?
Right.
Or what is really
And
happening?
that's what you teach, right? You did Trading for Women course. I remember being absolutely fascinated. And at one of the big summits last year, you were talking about cryptocurrency, etc. And you do very much de-dramatize it for us, right? It's not such a scary animal anymore. So, I mean, I know that so 2024, you have great things, right, planned, and one of which is literally called the Summit, Amsterdam Abundance Summit 2024. So, I mean, I'm fascinated and I'm delighted to be part of this as well. So, maybe share a little bit. What is the Abundance Summit 2024?
Now, Amsterdam Abundance Summit is, I do really have something with the city, Amsterdam. It's like that. I feel the energy in that
Yeah,
city. I love it. The Abundance Summit is actually more the idea to empower people financially.
right,
So the idea is to create a day full inspiration, but also full education. So since I know these successful people from corporates, top CEOs who have been role model for me actually, and I
right,
have all this community as well, women that I know that they come to me and they ask and they are preoccupied and they don't know what to do. Then I thought, okay, by creating a summit like this, I can put these ladies here, the CEOs and the individuals, the community, and come together and just create a day of inspiration, education, learn new tips, learn new ideas in
right,
order for you to start applying. In this summit, I'm going to give a lot of emphasis in how to create wealth. If you are
right.
in business, for example, what can you do to scale? There are amazing speakers coming
Mm,
who have successful business and they can teach you what kind of strategies they are using for you to apply it in your business. I have a lady who is coming from ANG Bank, a big one, and she's going to talk about actually financial and digitalization, how
right.
it's going to change the whole financial in the digital way. I think it's very important. She is going to talk about AI, what are
Mm,
the benefits and how can you apply it also in your business. So we are going to have a lot of knowledge that day,
yeah,
and we are going to also deliver some information about digital payment,
right.
e-commerce. How can you create your business in e-commerce and what kind of strategies can you use there? So it's going to be also topics about money mindset. We are going to talk about that because we believe it's very important as well.
Yeah, it's 80%, I understood, right? Is our mindset. I've had a look at the site. You have attracted a huge and very broad array of top specialists, so CEOs, etc., and top specialists in their field on a wide array of topics. And it's also workshop, right? There's also a lot of interaction, the possibility to ask questions. And this will take place in Amsterdam, right?
Yes, it's going to be in Amsterdam, in the Park Plaza Amsterdam Airport, and you are also part of that, of course, and we are going to do workshops. So it's something that I haven't seen before in other events, but we are going to do an interactive workshop. So speakers, they will be really sharing their knowledge, and you will have the opportunity to ask your questions.
Who would you say is the audience most likely to gain from this Amsterdam Abundance Summit 2024?
Well, I do believe that everybody is, of course, welcome. Everybody who thinks, okay, I am a professional, I am working right now in a company, but I am looking, or I would like to know what opportunities might be out there. So you are more than welcome. So men and women are welcome. Actually, I always say, you're never young to start doing this kind of things.
No, right.
You are 18, you are also welcome.
Or not too old, right?
Not, well, I mean, everybody's welcome, as long as you think that you are going to get something from that day. So also, for example, we have entrepreneurs who want to scale into another business. So for example, they want to start their e-commerce, or they want to digitalize their businesses. It's also going to be very interesting for them to learn how to do that. For the group of people who want to learn about how to create a passive income.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, right? Yeah.
We have a couple of people, speakers, who are going to share that, and they became very, very successful in the creation of wealth through passive income and all of that. So if you are interested on all these topics, and also we are going to talk about financial well-being as well. We have a panel with entrepreneurs that are going to talk about the financial challenges and what are the setbacks of businesses, and they are going to give some solutions on that. So actually, you are going to have a mix of different there. It's not going to be the typical financial event of conference that you come here and we are going to put like figures and a slide.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing concept, and that's why I'm absolutely delighted you're sharing it as part of this episode. I will put everything in the show notes. So for those of you listening here, be sure to look up the Amsterdam Abundance Summit 2024. There's a website already featuring all the top speakers, etc. Also, it is at the Park Plaza Airport, which means for those of you interested in coming from abroad, it's extremely practical. There's a shuttle straight from the airport. Right now, Giovana, I always ask for 3 tips for the audience before we finish off. You have already mentioned the affirmations. What 3 tips would you give the audience towards Abundance 2024?
Well, I will say tip number 1, read books. That is going to help you to go through that scarcity mindset. And I will give you one book that I started with. That is, the writer is Stuart Wilde.
Okay.
And the name of the book is The Little Money Bible. And he talks about 10 laws of money. I believe it's a very beautiful book. It's easy. And he also talked about these 10 laws from money.
Okay.
So, which is very important as well if you want to work in your scarcity mindset.
Okay.
So, second tip will be learn about financial money skills. And what do I mean by that? Be open and curious to start learning at least one money skill that can help you to grow your wealth. Or in either way, whatever happens in the upcoming years with the financial system, at least you know how to protect.
What do you call a money skill?
A money skill might be, for example, trading, might be might be perhaps going into business and start learning that can give you like a
steady income. Yeah.
So there are many money skills that you learn.
Okay.
And of course, you need to find that is suitable to you.
For you.
Yeah, but be open to learn this kind of things.
Open and curious. Okay.
and discover, like yourself, you did, you remember, in trading, you learn it. And then, of course, trading is something that you need to put into practice as well. So
Yeah.
it's difficult to learn it, but you need to practice that as well. It's the same with investing, but at least it's going to open for you new perceptions. You are going
Yeah.
to start seeing your life differently, and it's going to open for you also many other doors that perhaps you didn't even imagine that exist.
Exactly. And your
And
third tip?
that will be kind and try to leave a legacy. Leave a legacy.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, whatever you learn, use it, but also have that mindset to give back.
Yeah, it's a contribution, right? To contribute, even if it's a
So
tiny bit, contribute to the
abundance
result.
is about receiving and giving,
Right.
about investing and coming back. Okay. So
Wonderful.
be just happy when you
It's a
give.
flow, right? It flows in and it flows out. That's what abundance and the whole word makes me feel like that. Giovana, thank you very much. I couldn't have imagined anything better. I do want to just ask you one thing before I finish off. If you do have a blog, right, that could also help people.
Yes, my blog is tradingforwomen.com.
Okay, so that's a good one for people to go and have a look at as well if they're curious.
There is a lot of information about
Yeah.
cryptos, personal finance, trading, investing. So you can learn. It's free. You just go there. You have a lot of gifts that you can also download,
Perfect.
PDFs that you can use it for you.
Perfect.
Doing it.
Giovana, thank you very much. I wish you from the bottom of my heart a very abundant 2024. For those of you listening, hoping to see you too on March 22nd, 2024 at the Amsterdam Plaza for the Amsterdam Abundance Summit 2024. And let's make it a real year of abundance on all levels. All the best and speak to you again this time next week.